What's good, Jaws? Pod.cannion. I'm back with another reaction video. Got Fazo. This is nomsy again, and this is Kung Fu Panda from Tai Lung's perspective. Is tragically hilarious.
I love this.
Which I agree, because you just see this fat panda who isn't any of your master's students from your knowledge, and he just whoops your ass. Like,
facts,
oh my gosh, I would have been so
That's
distraught.
Most definitely That's most definitely Poe.
So we gotta see this shit. I know it's gonna be funny. If y'all like it. Like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new, because all we do is chill over here. That being said, let's get into the video.
DreamWorks is a movie studio. A few names will get tossed around, and some have truly become smash hits over the years. And none so much so than Kung Fu.
What the fuck? No, I did not know that. Yo, so Shrek has gave them the most money. Shrek 2 is a certified hood classic. I can't
of course, nigga.
Yo,
that's nostalgic as fuck.
The amount of times I've seen Shrek 2 just
everyday care.
Yo, every
my cousins in them crib. Every crib I went to with my sister,
bro.
They played it again with the homies.
I swear I've seen that.
So many birthday parties. You name it, cookouts, you name it. If there was kids around, they had Shrek on, especially 2.
I swear I've just passively seen that movie 20 times just because, just in passing. At least.
Bro, they care it was like every other day they had Shrek.
They just had that junk on, bro. So they got at, well, they didn't see that. So at 11, Puss in Boots' Last Wish. So that's the, that's the second one, I think.
Oh, wait, Madagascar, that's my shit. I love Madagascar too.
Monsters vs. Aliens is kind of surprising, I can't lie. Kung Fu Panda is number 7. See, Monsters vs. Aliens got tainted because they made the show after that, and that show is absolute garbage. Then Madagascar, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a band. That show is garbage. I can't lie to y'all, bro. And Shrek just...
Well, you ain't gonna say all that.
I mean, it is.
Over the years, and none so much so than Kung Fu Panda itself. A humble story that is just about being yourself and you will accomplish your dreams. But despite its positive framing, if you take the perspective of the villain of the story, Tai Lung, and it becomes quite funny. So let me just put you in his shoes. Now imagine for a second that you are Tai Lung, quite possibly the greatest warrior that has ever lived in medieval China, at least that you know about. You are the student of Master Shifu, who is in turn the student of Master Oogway, the guy that invented Kung Fu. It's quite a strong pedigree when you think about it, and you learn everything that you could from these two masters, with Shifu always whispering in your ear how great you are, how perfect you are, how much you're going to be the dragon warrior, the warrior that is prophesied by Oogway to bring balance to the to the valley. But one day when you arrange to meet with the tortoise himself, he tells you no. Apparently there's a darkness in your heart and too much ambition. Well, yes, you want to be the greatest warrior ever. Of course there's ambition. And imagine you've been told since the day you were born, or since the day you could do Kung Fu, that you were going to be the greatest warrior ever. And now you're being told no. I mean, there'd be a lot of anger.
Town Hall 17 and Clash of Clans is now available on both mobile and PC.
Angering you, you're like a 16-year-old that got given a BMW on their Sweet 16 instead of a Mercedes. You'd be angry too, so you do what any 16-year-old does in that situation. You go on a cheeky little rampage. But just when you're about to take the Dragon Scroll, Master Oogway comes out and gives you the old paralysis punch. And you know, for a tortoise, he has some moves. Next thing you know, you're locked up in a prison. 2 boulders hold your hands apart, and a giant tortoise shell, an ever-present reminder of the person that imprisoned you, gives you some acupuncture to withhold your abilities. And all things considered, it is largely uncomfortable. One day, though, it's been 20 years, and you're just kind of minding your own business when the head rhino comes down. I mean, they all look the same. The only one that tells them apart is he has a little golden nose. And he's showing off the prison to one of Shifu's messengers. And you think about it, that's kind of sweet of Shifu. He still cares about you. He still worries about you. He's still thinking about you. That's nice, thank you, Shifu. You watch him show the goose your chains, saying this is completely safe. There is nothing that could possibly happen that will break you out. 1,000 guards for one prisoner. Or maybe, if they had 10,000 guards, it might be a bit of a fair fight. These rhinos are pretty fat off their own laziness. They've kind of grown complacent and weak because nothing's happened in 20 years. But this bumbling imbecile managed to let it slip that Master Oogway is going to give the Dragon Scroll to someone. And this makes you a bit bitter. A little bit angry, and then he leaves you to your own devices so you can think about that fact and the idiocy that Oogway is now committing. You are the Dragon Warrior, the real Dragon Warrior. And when a feather floats down in front of you, the goose, well, how about that? A cosmic miracle to show you that you are destined to be the Dragon Warrior. Why else would the feather land in front of you? I mean, think about the probability here. It could have landed anywhere in this prison, but no, it landed directly in front of you, where you could see it, where your tail could reach it. Maybe after today you should consider buying a lottery ticket. But no, better yet, all you really need is the Dragon Scroll, and you have your golden ticket to escape. So with some careful maneuvers and some enormous back muscles that make Sam Sulek jealous, you break free of the tortoise shell, and you feel a huge sense of relief. But there's still the boulders on your wrist, and they're pretty challenging to break free. But they must be doing their best Stormtrooper impressions because they cannot hit you, and the only time that they do is when you forcefully push yourself into the path of the crossbow, so that way you can break free of one of your chains, and with your hand free, you can break free the other one. And you can use their spears and your Kung Fu abilities to create a platform to run up and jump onto the lift that they use to come down and tease you every now and again. Why they didn't decide to just cut it straight away? You don't know. But you're not going to complain because you can use that as a little shield from the arrows and then use it to get to the top. And by the time they do cut it, you're already up there. Now, if you didn't think you were the greatest warrior in all of history before, breezing through this jail where you're going for a casual stroll with your nan by a lake on a crisp summer's day definitely put that whole thing into perspective. When you think about it, 1,000 rhinos, with each one roughly weighing about 1,000 kilograms or 2,200 pounds for you freedom people, you're pretty much moving 1,000 tons overweight on average, without even breaking a sweat. But just as you get to the top, they think they can defeat you by blowing up some stalactites and destroying the bridge. Why they didn't just blow up the bridge? Again, you don't know, but it seems that these rhinos are not exactly the most forward-thinking of people. Instead, they want to go for some dramatic explosion. But with these giant
he
chunks
almost
of...
vert jumped that. Like, if he got a little bit of a...
Yeah.
He tried to vert jump that and almost made
Again, you don't know, but it seems that these rhinos are not exactly the most forward-thinking of people. Instead, they want to go for some dramatic explosion. But with these giant chunks of rock falling, you can use your Kung Fu abilities to jump all over them. And as you're doing it, you are just thinking to yourself, man, I am the greatest. There is no one that could possibly do this like me, except for maybe some blonde guy from Middle Earth. In the end, you grab a bunch of those explosives, which somehow took almost 7 years to explode. Maybe they had them lying there for too long and the fuse got damp or something. And then that's why you always frequently check anything to do with emergencies, fire extinguishers and everything. Otherwise, things like this will happen, and a snow leopard will come down and throw explosives in your face. But you throw it at the perfect time and it blows up the rhinos and the door to the exit. And you walk out and you talk to that silly goose of Shifu's and you're giving him a good old stroke. Boy, you're going to give something a good old stroke in a minute, because 20 years of your hands being tied behind your back, something hasn't been stroked. But he's a good boy.
Relax.
You roam the world for a little while, making your way to the Valley of Peace. And you figure on the way you might as well ask some people who the Dragon Warrior is. Well, it does travel quickly, or for all intents and purposes, and people might have a rough idea of what's going on. And in your mind you're imagining all the things that he could be. He could be some 8-foot tall ox, or buffalo, or whatever. Maybe a lion. Or maybe he's an actual dragon. He could be a dragon warrior. I mean, it makes sense, right? So you won't go around the villages and You ask one of them. Excuse me, sir. Do you know anything about the Dragon Warrior? What's he like? He's like a warrior we've never seen before. Like a Steven Seagal type of warrior or a Bruce Lee kind of warrior. I don't know, that's all I've been told. Apparently he fell out of the sky on a ball of fire. Okay, interesting. That's crazy. Thank you. And you continue on your journey and hoping that this dragon warrior is going to be a worthy foe. And everywhere you go, everyone gives you the same story, that he's a warrior unlike we've ever seen before, and he fell out of the sky on a flaming ball of fire. So you figure it's better to be a bit optimistic, because frankly that's metal as fuck, and it would be nice to cut loose. But just as you're crossing Selwood and Rouge, the Furious Five appear in front of you, and they think that they can stop you, and they have about just as much chance as 1,000 lions in all honesty. And they try to cut the bridge, but that really doesn't matter to you, because frankly you've been dodging this kind of stuff all day now, so you just leap forward, and actually Tigress manages to kick you in the face. But by doing that, they allow you to get a foothold on the bridge again. You kind of take it easy, because these guys are worthless. None of these guys are the Dragon Warrior. But you don't want to miss the opportunity to get under Shifu's student skins, or even Shifu himself. But they let it slip that the Dragon Warriors...
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
Why? They let it
We don't want to
ready?
see this shit.
His name is Poe.
Our battle will be legendary!
And apparently that's the name of a worthy opponent, but you're not going to complain. Anyway, you run the cheeky 1v5, and it's all fun, all things considered. Although the most impressive thing out of all of this is the fucking Mantis managed to hold up the entire weight of all of you together. I mean, you thought Bugs was strong, and you thought maybe he might be an ant or something, not a mantis. Then they managed to actually tie you up with some insane combo, and you figure, okay, well, it's time to get serious, isn't it? No more jerking around. Dusting yourself off, you make it to the Valley of Peace just in time for a dramatic reveal using some lightning. I mean, you are the Dragon Warrior, so you have to make some kind of dramatic entrance. After all, Sheep always says, before the battle of the body comes the battle of the mind. And the guy who comes out to greet you is Shifu himself. This day is really getting better and better. Now you can take up all of the 20 years of frustration that you have on this guy. But this is not the smartest idea that he's ever had, because while he's been getting old, you've been getting angry. And it's surprising that you don't turn big and green right now. And you are really bitter that he didn't give you the Dragon Scroll. He should have fought for you, man. How dare he not fight for you? So you get a little bit aggressive and you start a big old trauma dump on his ass. Like you've just gotten out of a breakup and you're now on a dating app. Like this guy straight up tortured you for years under the guise that he was going to make you the Dragon Warrior. Then you find Uguay's staff and you're like, oh, the old man croaked. He probably got a little bit out of breath from blowing out too many candles. But this means that it's now Shifu's decision to choose the Dragon Warrior. But it doesn't want to. He's still denying you your destiny. So what better way of poetic justice than strangling him with his master's staff? And you get the upper hand and you show him what a real Dragon Warrior can do. And just as you're about to land the finishing blow, he apologizes, and that throws you off. Like, Shifu apologizing is frankly the most absurd thing that's happened at all of these things. Feather falling in front of you, defying all probability. A Mantis holding out 5 people, nothing compared to Shifu actually apologizing. But it's too little too late. You what? You're frankly too angry to process that trauma. And I mean, no one's apologies mean shit, you just want the scroll. That's when a King Panda shows up behind you. A panda! Out of breath climbing the stairs. And he has the audacity to claim that he is the dragon. So great. It was a warrior.
Get off the fucking rice balls, nigga!
I would have probably crashed
And fucking fight!
Holy shit, I would have crashed out.
Yeah,
Yo, from all the trading and the man's out of breath going up the stairs,
Right.
he's like, I'm the Dragon Warrior. I'm the one who said...
Type shit.
Yo, oh my gosh, bro. He said, no more wheel.
Isn't that the Steven Seagal special? But he actually has the scroll. The panda has the scroll. So you punch him easily, but somehow that gets thrown back in your face. He's a bit like jelly. I mean, is that by accident or was that on purpose? I don't think you're trying to fight
Full
this
of
guy.
rice
He's
balls.
constantly getting lucky. He hits you with trees, sits on you while you're falling. It's like he's not even taking this fight seriously. He's probably going to call out, get it in a minute. What is going on, man? How has it come to this, that this is your life now? That you want, oh my god. He tries to play some silly game with stilts and rocks. But you know, you're Tai Long, so you just knock all of that stuff away in an instant. And somehow he's better at fighting with stilts then his own goddamn fist. And this is the most he's actually given you
Well,
your money.
he was
You knock him
really
away and
crazy.
you continue.
He was really
only
going
to be
crazy
caught up
with
by
it.
him riding on a cart of fireworks. Like, you can imagine losing to a guy with swords or arrows or
love
maybe
how
even a
Poe
stick.
just made
But what
this
is going on? How are you losing to this guy? And that's when the scroll gets tossed up really high and you see him channel the force.
Like,
Fucking
bro,
kiddish.
all them years of training just to lose. Like
Yeah,
a
look how
comical bit, bro. Like, that joke is
Personally,
insane.
he can climb like he's in an Assassin's Creed game. But again, he somehow foils himself and then ends up hitting you in the face with roof tiles, and then he manages to run on those tiles and get the scroll in midair. Like, what? At least when you did it, these rocks were huge, weighing like thousands of tons. But now we're talking about tiles of 100 grams that he can just walk on in the air. No, that's just ridiculous. But you kick his ass and you get your hands on the scroll, and you feel the euphoria rush over you. Finally, you are the Dragon Warrior. This is your birthright. It's finally happened. You have the scroll. It's empty. Like, it's actually empty. This whole thing was a sham of Oogway, wasn't it? Some twisted bullshit. Oh, God. The tortoise is actually...
I dare you to let me build you a completely free
No.
e-commerce store.
Like, I hate
Pre-
those ads.
How about that?
It's just insane.
Oh
A blank golden scroll. What a joke. No wonder he didn't want to give it to you. You probably would have set fire to the entire world. Just all of that. Like, you would have just...
Oh, we're getting pictures. We're getting some videos.
Inner peace. No listening to the sounds of the universe for you, I guess. Well, screw you, Steven Seagal.
I'm like, yeah, but we got dollars.
So you tried to poke him a few times with the paralysis punch, but it does nothing. It just doesn't work. And he's like jelly. Every time you hit him, you just get hit back. Even more. This time when he fights you, it's like fighting a whole new thing. He's actually serious for a change. He's more agile, more ferocious. But he's still not, like, taking it seriously. And you're unironically about to get your ass beat by a goddamn panda. One of those creatures of legend that to this point you thought was all about pacifism and eating dumplings. How could you ever live that down? But he throws you up using his gut as a trampoline, and you fall into a huge hole. How is it possible? And he grabs you by the finger and you're just like, oh no.
The whooshy finger.
Next thing you know, you're in the spirit realm. Well, I guess that makes sense that the whooshy finger hold would send people to the spirit realm. But that's okay, unless you're dead now, you don't have to live with the embarrassment that you got beaten by a panda. That is until a door opens in front of you and you walk through and you're greeted by a comedian. Of all things. And she's got the staff of Oogway. She told you she got it from the panda, and you're just thinking, there is no way, like, that panda's an idiot, but there's no way that he would give up Oogway's staff. Actually, no. Yeah, maybe he would. He is that stupid and that naive, isn't he? And you're so embarrassed by having been defeated by this guy, so you just tell her, look man, just send me back to the spirit realm. You don't care anymore. You don't want any more to do with this. But she seems determined to fight, and of course you are happy to oblige. But just as you're about to win, she sucks out your kung fu abilities and tosses you into a magical cage. And you watch as she brings back all of the old kung fu masters of legend. At least you're not the only one that's living in embarrassment. And you watch as the panda comes back. And you're just cringing now. How could Oogway have let this guy become the Dragon Warrior and not you? Like, you knew it was a mistake, but like, this is the biggest mistake that anyone has ever had. You would not have let this comedian woman do all of this. And you watch as he runs the ones with the comedian lady. But this time something is different. He's actually taking the fight a little bit seriously. You're a little bit impressed, actually. Then the lizard turns into you and shows you to yourself, the arrogant, petulant little shit that you are, thinking that you're deserving of everything in the world just because you have a modicum of talent and an ability to do it. But then a fox comes out of nowhere, and it and the panda go to town on the comedian, and between them they give it a run for its money. But then when the comedian turns into the panda, you almost cringe. How cliche, the hero has to fight against its shadow self. Then the panda gets trapped, leaving the fox to fight for him. And that's when you really get upset. She's using the staff herself, so she's the panda's successor. Man, if she gets the finishing blow, it will just be so upsetting. It'd be like Cars 3 all over again. And she kinda does, you know? She does the damage that eventually leads to her defeat, and the panda just comes in to clean up the mess. And you're just like, oh, great. And then someone must have mind controlled you or something, because you go up to the panda and tell him that Oogway was right about him and that he is deserving to be the Dragon Warrior. And then you bow to him? Well, something went horribly wrong here. Even if you did accept that you were a petulant little brat, this is still really far from your character, and he actually sends you home, and you kind of cringe that you're nice to him. But that wasn't your fault. No, that was because you got your power back and you were kind of drunk off of that, I guess. And you're having a little bit of
So that's his excuse.
post-nut clarity or something.
Sir.
Yeah, I seen that.
Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please give it a like.
I
And
might tap in, even though I know how it ends now. But I'm kind of drunk now, so I might forget. Shout out Nomsy. If you like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new, because all we do is chill over here. Yeah, that junk was fire. I can't lie. Took me back to the show. I might react to more videos like this. Y'all let me know. If y'all like the video, like it, subscribe if you're new, because all we do is chill over here. With that being said, y'all be great. Y'all be safe. Keep getting to that bag, because all we do is chill over here. With that being said, peace.